10 o'clock, call the meeting to order. In the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All ayes, motion carried. The minutes have been approved. Now we have the agenda. Anything to add?
I have nothing to add.
Anybody else?
I'll move to approve the proposed agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All ayes, motion carried. The agenda's been approved. Might as well go right ahead and start with Arlen.
Arlen's a Sac Township trustee and has come to visit with the board for a few minutes.
We've got a little problem down at the road to the Lugo Cemetery. There's a young man from Wall Lake who seemed to think he was doing a good deed. He wanted to put up an arch from one of those brick pillars up over the road. Given the Lugo Cemetery established 1880-something, whatever it was. Well, it's already blowed down once. And there was a lady, well, was a Luco, her great-grandfather, she said, donated the land for that cemetery. And she was very unhappy about this arch that this fellow was putting up. And to my knowledge, he probably didn't have permission to do it. And I was wondering if he had any permission from here, from the county.
It's
And
first
that-
I've heard.
Never heard of it.
And that is a county road, now am I right?
I'm not certain where in that part of the county, I guess,
Yeah.
Dean, maybe you.
I'm trying to think where it is.
Well, it's,
It's west of Auburn, isn't it?
yeah, you go 2 miles west of Auburn and 2 miles south and then another mile west and then a quarter of a mile south and then it goes back up the field a half a mile. See, it's-
But it is a road.
Yes, yes. And the county has been maintaining it, you know, for years, doing a good job. They don't get, well, the farmers use some that farm back in there, you know, and
There has nothing been said here. So if he made any contact, I guess we need to inquire with the engineer about whether they had asked there, but
Back in there.
there has been no
Yes,
correspondence with
yes,
this.
that's it right there.
God, I didn't know that was a county. Yeah.
Who's that?
Well,
This is,
this one right here. See the bump designation.
sure. I didn't even realize that was there.
Would be considered a county road.
Years and years ago, that road come in there from about straight north of where the cemetery is, from that other road, see, but I guess they had a problem with wet, you know, mud, and so then they changed it and come in from west.
Well, it's on our map as being county road too.
Yes.
so.
Okay.
What section is that in? Dean?
27.
But what I would like is for you to have Mike, if he gets off that way, to take a look, you know, see what his take is on it, and I think we can work out a compromise with the man that put it up, well, it's Tom Frank is who it was, you know. To move it up to the cemetery rather than down there in the road. Because if he's gonna try to keep the wind from blowing it over down there, he's gonna have to use light bulbs, you know. So,
Yeah, we'll certainly inquire about it.
all right,
The road is in right at the cemetery, doesn't it?
yes, it just goes to the cemetery.
I gotta go to Carroll today. I'll drive down and look at it tonight. I didn't. God, I've gone by there.
See, there's some brick pillars that was built, well, and all set into the, kind of in the ditch, you know, that Elmer Moore had put there, I don't know, probably 60 years ago.
Okay.
And, he fastened these things to the tops of those, well, he's already got one of those cement covers askew on them, you know, from wind up, you know. So, we would like to have it removed if we could.
You mean removed totally or put it
Well-
somewhere else?
Well, removed from the location it's at. And I think, like I say, I think we can make arrangements with the guy to move it up to the cemetery and put it right by the gate up there. And Martin Erickson in Auburn made the arch for him. I see it sitting there by his building there through the winter, and it's nice, you know. But at the time, I didn't know who had it made or anything.
We can do that.
Okay, well, so covered, I'll be on my way.
Well, thanks
Thanks,
for telling
Thank you,
us.
gentlemen.
That's the only way we find out a lot of this stuff is people come in and tell us.
I
We
suppose.
don't know what's going on.
I suppose I'll have one of your cover shots here.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve claims.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All ayes, claims complaint approved.
We don't have any drainage claims.
ICAP membership.
Yeah, it's our annual renewal of our membership to the Iowa Community Insurances Pool. It's standard form, I didn't bring it with me.
It'll be a hot one.
You're saying 97.
Friday, I'm supposed to take off and go for a race in Kansas, and he was moving, and that's the day it's supposed to be raining.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna take off Friday.
After that deer hit Jackie, might have second thoughts. He had a deer land on his hood.
Oh, really?
With my good pig up in Minnesota. I mean, it really didn't number. Talking about totally. It only got 10,000 miles on it, even if it's 2006 with 10,500. Board of Supervisors. Yeah, right here. Sure. Joe.
What? Okay. 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 Sounds good, thank you. We've had an ongoing discussion about our mental health advocate, the costs of that, and that was Joe, Ben and Lisa Bethune are gonna come in, I believe next week, and they're gonna get on the agenda. And there's we have a copy that we just received of a contract that Webster County. And so they're gonna come in for a discussion about that. Sheriff.
Good
Morning. Did you get my email? Yeah. Well, now I got an email back today from the Iowa County Courier saying that their people says it's because I'm doing it in rich text instead of plain text. But they figured something out. You guys just look excited to be here today.
We always are.
Holy cow.
Jim went down to get some information on what I got.
I think everybody's extraordinarily tired this week for some reason. staying ahead of it, Sheriff?
Ooh, well, yeah.
Kind of?
As ahead as we can stay. The wind's blowing it right up to us though, it'll run real fast.
Have you heard back from our, we had the discussion about the fence situation.
According to Master Dowling, they're supposed to be here the 13th
Oh,
to do that.
excellent.
So, I think he told me that last week.
That's just the renewal to the membership to ICAP. ICAP provides all of our general liability and that type of thing, risk management. So,
No changes in it,
I read it over, I didn't see, it just, it just sets forth the agreement between the pool and the members.
This is, this is the one that we said we were receiving a credit to our building.
Yes, yeah.
And have we received the amount or know what the amount is gonna be this time?
Yeah, I have it downstairs, I haven't brought it.
We just received the letter saying it was coming and
Yeah.
I hadn't heard what the amount is.
We normally pay that right at the 1st of July for the next fiscal year, so I'll add that to the information.
Do we sign this? Do you sign that?
You'll have to sign it as chairman and then
Yeah. Get it approved.
Did you get your vehicle repaired? We have a deer hit here recently.
Just got it out of the
Got
body
it
shop
back.
Friday. Yep.
Who did the work?
Eric Scholl got that bid.
Make a motion to renew the membership.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All ayes.
can we move you up 15 minutes?
Do whatever you want. Good
Ready?
start.
Yep.
I'm ready. I have a couple bids here. I talked to Jim about a month ago. What I would like to do is in our office, that entry door, there's that glass panel on the side. What I would like to do is take that glass panel out, put in a counter and a window system, and then secure our office so instead of everybody being able to walk directly in the middle of our office, you're stopped there, we can do business through that counter window unless we need you to come in for something. Just another way of securing up the building in our office. I have 2 bids from BB Glass. The first one is a solid glass thing. It has it'll have a 14-inch by 8-inch pass-through stainless steel transition counter on the outside. It has, I think it's 5/16-inch laminated safety glass. That bid is for $1,401.11. On page 2 is just a glass slider where we can slide and close the window and secure it with a little latch thing. And that bid is $1,270.28.
So what's the difference in the two?
Well, the first bit is, it's actually a solid window. There is no slider, you just have a pass-through counter. You know, they said that maybe with a solid glass thing, you may end up having to put a speaker system into the glass, and that was $800. You know, I'm not necessarily interested in doing that. And then the second one is just the slider window. Now, eventually, what we'd also like to do is put a keypad lock on our door so that you guys can have access, or Jim Dowling can have access, or the clerk's office can have access, just by pushing a couple of keys, and it's like a combination lock, and they can come in.
One of the problems that we have for folks getting back to our meeting room is that we have to come through there. And if you're inside the building, you know, quite often we'll walk through there, and if not, you have to try and get in from the outside, and that was one inconvenience that we.
I think we can take care of a lot of that problem if we put a sign out there on that east door. It's not marked as far as entrance to the conference room. And people are confused. I know when I have my election meetings, we say enter the conference room through the east door. Well, the east door to them is the courthouse, and then
So
whoever
they end
happens
up
to be there, they end up wandering through the sheriff's.
And we do it too. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not.
But
as well.
we can take care of a lot of that, I think, just through education.
Or come through the north door to let the comp center buzz you in for that meeting room, you know.
But that's, you know, that's one thing that we, for drainage meetings or something, you know, we end up walking through.
Well, we
Your
will
office.
still have access.
Right. But I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I know it's probably a distraction for you guys to either let people through or watch it or whatever.
The biggest usage of that door will be people getting gun rumors. Really, get their picture taken.
And that's really kind of slowed down now. You know, we had a big rush that first 2 months, you know, and now really, once we get through this year, I would expect that whole thing just to, for another 4 years until they have to start renewing it.
People are getting a little bit concerned about the gun permits because, for instance, I have a gun permit. My wife doesn't. Guns in the pickup. My wife's got the pickup.
Wife's in trouble.
The wife's in trouble. And so some of the wives, I know one particular went and got a gun permit, doesn't even shoot a gun, just because the gun is in the pickup.
Are they gonna enforce that?
Sure. Yeah, the permit's specific to the person. You know, it's no different than what it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, that's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
The permit only covers the permittee and not anybody else.
As long as it's not cased.
Right. But if it's legally transported, you know, locked in a secured case, then you don't.
Then
need
you're
a
on,
permit.
that's, as it always has been.
Right, but if you're gonna keep your pistol loaded underneath, shoved underneath the front seat, and your other family members driving it, technically they can be charged if it's discovered. You know.
When they first put possession of beer in by a minor, when they first wrote that law too, the parents could only make beer available to a minor at home. And once they go to the grocery store with this minor in the car, and they get their groceries and beer and everything, put it in the back seat, the kid sitting back there. Technically, he was in possession or control, he had as much control as his parents did, which was illegal. Nobody ever enforced it, but it was there if it was needed. And how they do this with the gun is enforce it when needed. You know, the wife's driving drunk or some other things. A little bit different, isn't it?
What's your preference? You like the slide?
Probably the second, probably the slider one, you know, I mean, you're still having interaction, I mean, it's not like I don't wanna get away with the complete personal interaction in our office, and I think with the solid glass thing, you're gonna do that where at least you can open something up and you're not looking through a piece of glass, I don't know, you know, a lot of our other problem is we have a lot of people who just stop in just to talk, which has its ups and downs, you know, when you're trying to get work done, and, you know, I
Put
understand.
an electric lock on the door then,
What's that?
some type of electric lock.
Well, what I'd like to do is do that combination lock at some point.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is Berlin's over here, counter's here, somebody wants in, she's gotta get up and go all the way around, let him in, rather than buzz him in.
I think, and I haven't researched that, my guess is that a combination lock's gonna be a lot cheaper than trying to install another lock where you're gonna use a button or a key fob to get in or out. I don't know, you know, that's,
I mean, they make those for a lot of residential homes,
you know.
so
Ideally, it would be nice to set up the system that we have for the key fobs for, you know, our office for the rest of the building where you just run your thing over it and it unlocks it, but, in the interim, we'll do what we have to do. But this has always kind of been discussed for many, many years and nothing's ever been done. And I don't think you're gonna find a sheriff's office, very few sheriff's offices in northwest Iowa you can walk right into. You know, I think, Carroll County is the only one I know around here where you can just walk right in. So,
Carol and Sac.
yeah, Carroll and Sac, you know, so, but,
I'm okay with it, I guess.
I think we should make a motion on being we're spending money.
Yes, I make a motion that we go ahead and purchase the lock door and sliding glass window Jason from BB Glass.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All ayes, motion carried.
We're just using the second estimate then.
yeah, the second, yeah, 1,200 and
$70.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Right, thanks, Ken. Do you have anything else?
That's all I got.
Is the engineer gonna be, Kurt?
No, if you have any discussion, I can go after. Oh, well, could you guys briefly explain what ICAP is and why you guys signed on to it today? Why it was important for you?
You want to, Jim?
ICAP is our, is a pool of city and county, local governmental entities that formed in 1986, I believe, to provide general insurance, liability insurance for counties and cities. Sac County's been a member of that since shortly thereafter. I think we're member number 51, so we're one of the very first ones. And every year we renew our coverage, and it's the vehicle that we use to get our insurance coverage for the county and all of our vehicles, buildings, contents. That's it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And the history on the thing, since we've been here, it's been a good financial situation for the county because it's just worked out very well. The pool has worked well together and has saved us a significant amount of money over time. And really don't see any reason that it won't continue to be that way. So,
Thank you.
The engineer will make it today.
I haven't heard anything from him. He wasn't here last week, but I'm sure he'll be here today.
We'll go into recess then until the engineer arrives.
Could live there.
you've heard us discuss this latest drainage deal where they're trying to do this resolution for, for not allowing clean out of drainage during the nesting season. And the life expectancy from my point of view is about 40 years on a drainage ditch. That every 40 years, the average would be that you would have to clean that out. So you would be in there disturbing the nesting one time in 40 years. And now with that, if they go forward with that, most of us as ag people are going to say, I'm not going to pay my CRP contract back. I'll farm it 39 of the 40 years, so we won't have that buffer strip.
You mind if I ask you some questions about this?
Sure, go ahead.
The cleaning out a ditch involves how much time? Per mile, let's say.
Well, that would all depend upon how much material has to be removed.
Let's say worst case scenario. Really what I'm asking is, are they able to get that done in the non-nesting portion of the year?
No, because
Okay, they're not able to get it done.
because you have a limited amount of contractors, and if they have to be placed, before May 15th and after August, whatever, you've just eliminated a good portion of their work time. So now, from my perspective, that drives up the cost because now they have to have more equipment, more people to try and do that clean out in a limited amount of time.
Done faster.
Yeah.
Because then they're also, can they do it during winter?
No.
Okay,
No,
snow
they-
on the ground, no.
no.
And no farmer wants them there in the summertime because they'd have to find a way to get to the drainage ditch, which may mean they have to take out a couple of rows of corn or something.
Well,
to get
that's
to it.
that's the other beauty of having that CRP strip. They can go in and not disturb the guy's ag operation if that.
Hopefully, assuming they can get to it.
Right, and that's not always the case, but it is a good amount of the time.
Is there any kind of waiver?
Not at this point in time. There has been up to the last 6 to 9 months. They've been allowing the waiver to say we're not going to bother you if you need to do your cleanup. Well, some environmentalist duck guy got a foothold, and now they're saying that you cannot. There will be no waiver to clean that out during that time. If you go in and disturb that during the nesting season, they're going to force the farm guy to pay back his CRP contract, not for that year, but for all 50. So,
And it's just wrong.
it is.
What's the dollar impact of that if people just stop participating? Or what is the impact if farmers just stop participating?
To me, as a person who cares about the sediment and the
Water
water
quality.
quality control, it's big. Because if you, in both categories, because the water is somewhat filtered before it would get into the ditch, and the sediment that you're doing during your ag operation is usually 120 feet from the ditch bank. So there's two big consequences of having the filter strip. It's a good thing. The financial consideration is a lot of those contracts are about $200 a year per acre. That's what the economics of it is.
How does that compare to, I might be saying this wrong, the CRP of that acre per year? Or the value of that land
If
per
you
year?
were farming it for corn,
Right.
A lot of those payments would be comparable to a cash rent payment. So if I'm renting 40 acres from you, the rental for the CRP buffer strip is usually pretty comparable to what I might pay you for rent.
So it might be less than what you would make farming it, but it would be guaranteed money.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's attractive.
Right, and the conservation
And-
parts of it.
Yep.
Yeah. And like, I had a great uncle that turned a tractor over in dredge ditch and got killed. I mean, you know, it's best if you're not up next to them. I mean, they're in brome like that up against the edge of that ditch. There can be washouts there that you don't see, and so it's just good to stay away from them if you can. So, had a great uncle in 1966 tipped a 60 John Deere over, killed him. Yeah. And that's, I mean, you've heard that happen over the years.
Got one more question. This may seem obvious, but I just want to make sure I've got my mind wrapped around it. The payments are for the buffer strip around the ditch.
Correct.
If they choose to not have the buffer strip and get paid for it, then they could just clean the ditch with impunity as much as they want and not.
This
Have any
and I
kind of
guess I
penalty.
didn't, my total point of argument to this deal is, a lot of the drainage districts, the drainage ditches have pretty much all of them, where the ditch is physically, is owned by the drainage district. Okay? And then there's an easement outside of that to allow maintenance to that. Well, I don't know if it's since you've been here, Kurt, but it certainly, since the newspaper over the years has, and Dale, our drainage engineer has sat here and said that you're only buying an easement to that property to allow clean out, which is a very rare type situation. So the value of that should be a fraction of the value of the property, because the farmer can use it the rest of the time. Well, if you don't allow the folks to be on the easement to use it for these buffer strips, it's my position that the drainage district better own that property, because you're treating it like you own it. So I think the last easement thing that we did when we did a clean out to allow maintenance or a clean out, I think was $500 an acre maybe, and the land value was $6,000. So they're getting a tenth for an easement. Well, if this one resolution that the attorney had drawn up is saying that we don't allow farmers access to use that property even on the easement, and I just don't feel that's right at all, because the easement is a fraction of the value, and if you're not allowing them to use the property, you better own it. So that's what I'm thinking. That's how I'm going to argue it.
Got it.
So they do some strange things. And I talk about throwing the baby out with the bathwater if they go forward with this, and it's just going to absolutely ruin the buffer strip program. People are going to look at it and say, if I can't use that property for the CRP purpose, the buffer strip CRP purpose, I'm just going to farm it.
Does NRC have, what's their stand?
It's all come down from the feds, and so they just direct the local people, and they're.
So the local offices really have no say?
No. Not the best I can tell.
I think somebody out there would be telling the federal guys, you're idiots.
Everybody in the country's been telling the federal guys they're idiots for about 50 years. They don't listen.
That's true.
We'll call the meeting to order.
County crews traveling Eaton Township, scheduling ed dredge projects on M68, M43, south of 20, laying gravel roads, spraying trees within the right-of-way in Wheeler and Levy Township, installing road culverts and replacing drain tile in Buchanan Avenue north of 200th Street, investigating possible broken tile lines in sections 23 and 34 of Richland Township, scheduling culvert placement between section 27 and 28 Coon Valley Township. Mike didn't put it in there, but, he has, had several meetings with the FEMA people and tried to accumulate as much of our expenses as we can and give it to the FEMA guy. They're really pushing the FEMA guy to get in here, get the information collected, and get back out. So Mike ended up working on the budget last Friday and Saturday. The guy was calling him wanting more information, so hopefully maybe the end of next week they'll have that all. The guy from FEMA will have that all put together and we'll know more what we're gonna get, what we're expecting to get back again for FEMA.
On those driveways that I'd asked about last weekend, did he make that contact?
I don't think he had yet. I think he's been busy with his FEMA and some of this other stuff, but
Well,
I'll.
he just simply needs to make a phone call to arrange a time.
Project status, bridge on N35, we're working, should get ready to pour the deck later next week. Bridge replacement at Dead End Road in 22-27. Wheeler with the twin culvert, Richard still hasn't given us a start date on that yet. Hopefully it's sometime soon. Pavement marking, Vogel Traffic Service, they completed that work last week. All the center line and the stop bars and hedge lines painted. Highway 20 update, dust control was completed on residences on the unofficial detours last week. We're still forwarding any complaints we get to the DOT.
Are you getting more complaints or not?
I haven't heard anything more, and I've given the office secretaries and Mike too knows the number for the DOT inspectors, so whether they passed any complaints on, I guess I haven't heard any more. Update on the DD 2 and 51 tile crossing relative to Highway 20. The existing 8-inch tile line is in the west shoulder for several hundred feet before it's turning southwest and crossing the road ditch and going out in that field. Greg Villegas was out there with me and the DOT guy last week, and he sort of agreed that any crossing for the improvement would be a long ways south of the section of N28 that's going to be replaced as part of the Highway 20 project. Now, this is the old district map. Of course, Highway 20's crossing up here, and
That's right in the shoulder.
and right here, of course, on this whole map, you didn't know where exactly that'd be, but it's right in the shoulder force slope. Their cut in the pavement is down, I think it's 94 meters from the center line of the road, and it's about,
You see that?
Yeah.
they located it, the guy that's working for CJ Warner and locating that was using some kind of a, he attaches some kind of a transmitter on the end of a, I don't know if it's a plastic tape or what, but
Yeah.
he slides that down in there and then he just follows it and he was setting flags where it was supposed to be. Well, I tried to probe it where he said the tile line was, and I couldn't hit it, so I'm not sure, and when you looked at the flags, they were going like this quite a bit. Well, an 18-inch tile line, you aren't going like that, so I don't know whether the locator he uses is that accurate, or whether he didn't make any effort to try to get real accurate on where it was. I mean, for what they're trying to do as far as follow a tile line and then dig it up someplace, it gives them a good idea where to start digging, and we're gonna get within a few feet of it. But where it was in the shoulder going like that, I really question where exactly it's at. and Greg was out there and with his GPS equipment shot the flags that those guys had set. He followed it out of this field and went up to the intake here and then picked it back up where they had located it going down here until it turned and went out in this field. And I don't know how far that was, I didn't step it off. But I did talk to Ivan this morning, and Greg was gonna meet with Ivan and bring up that information that he'd shot, and they were gonna look at it. But, you know, Greg and I sort of agreed it made sense. I mean, first of all, you don't wanna bring, this may be a little bit better picture. The existing tile line comes here and then just sort of goes down the shoulder and takes off in the field. But you don't want to bring the new tile line up on this side and then here, because this goes up here ways and then crosses the highway, so you wouldn't want to be on the north side, so you'd want to be on the south side. Well, it makes about as much sense to come across here and just come across, you know, the road somewhere down here. And, I mean, this whole area in here is low.
Yeah.
And once, I mean, I think that's Alan's intent, is just to get it to the east side of the road, and then he would take it.
Well, I mean, that still needs to still be discussed, because those folks who are up here, I mean, for another 25% of the cost of the project, can run it clear up from the start of the beginning. Why? I mean, if I were a landowner up here, I wouldn't want to just get it this far and
Well,
for 25% of the project, you run it clear to the beginning.
but I mean, you're gonna be using both tiles simultaneously to help, you know, carry the waters, you know, and that tile line circles around back over here, so if you bring this up here and cut this other water,
Oh,
take it this way rather than going back.
I mean, it's if you were looking at towards 50% of the cost, then I would support what you're saying. But if you're down to 20 to 25% of the cost, and you're footing the bill for the whole rest of it, why wouldn't you go the distance? I mean, that's going to be a landowner's choice. I look at it,
Part of its design too, if they're gonna come up here and maybe disconnect any old lines that go on further east and keep that water in the new system on the south side when Alan does that, rather, you know, it's gonna free this system up here to drain those people.
I agree. I mean, it'll come down to
Yeah,
which point of view you.
but anyhow, it's gonna make about as much sense to cross down here, way out. Here's where they're ending their cut to tie in the existing 20, so. I did catch on the paving plans, I've been requesting a crossroad culvert in here to equalize the water on both sides, and the paving plans that came out, they weren't in there, so I sent them an email, so we're gonna get that added in there, so. But,
That makes sense.
but yet when we do it,
Equalize, yeah. Now the gravel, you know, where you're suggesting the pipe under the road.
well, that'd be
Oh,
part,
that's paved,
that'll be within the new section of
Oh,
pavement.
okay. Well,
I mean, there should have been a crossroad equalizer culvert in there before the pavement.
It does, because it just runs over.
Well, when it gets deep enough, it runs over. With an equalizer pipe in there, it shouldn't get up on the shoulder, but because, I mean, that whole thing's just a big wet spot. And, it's all gotta go down to the tile to get out of it. But equalizing the culvert hopefully would keep it from ever getting back up on the shoulder unless it got up on both sides. But- So anyway,
I mean, whatever, we really didn't know where the crossing would be, and thought if you had a dirt opening, that it would be foolish not to excavate it rather than.
well, and if this would've went, you know, if this would've went,
straight west.
yeah, if it went straight west out here in the field, so you could have brought another tile up alongside and then crossed, you know, that would've made, you know, some sense too, but if you come up on this side, then it's gonna give them issues back here. If they're coming up along this alignment anyway, it's just as easy to go across here, and then if they don't wanna, you know, they can go north in the field and
whatever you guys think's best.
With that being, if you come through south, there'd just be a conflict with it in the shoulder, and we sure don't wanna try to tie them together or do something there, so.
Jack, did you want to ask about that Luco Cemetery?
Oh, right, we're,
Local cemetery, there's County Road, probably not familiar with it, I wasn't.
Southwest of Alton.
Yeah.
Section
West of
27.
Auburn, and there's a cemetery.
Section 27, Sac Township.
There's a road going to there, somebody put a local cemetery arch over, evidently the county road.
over the road.
Oh, yeah?
And evidently the wind has raised the devil with it.
And the Arlen segment was in and asked,
Mike,
if we had given permission to put it over, and we, in our 10 years or 11, there's never been any discussion about it. And there,
you should split it off the roadway where you enter the cemetery,
Actually,
Yeah.
where you enter the cemetery
rather than across the road.
and he said it was, it was done nicely. The ornament was, he had no qualms about how it looked. It's blown down a couple times.
But this is something they put up recently then, or how?
Yeah.
In the last year.
Huh. And the cemetery put it up?
No.
An
Private.
individual did.
Oh, private.
Tom Frank. I think that's Clay Frank. Yeah, Clay Frank lives
No.
down.
Clay, Clay is the one that got the repair service.
Yes, the red
Yeah.
hair.
I don't know Tom.
The one I'm thinking of, if I'm thinking of the right guy, used to truck for glass. Wasn't that Tom? But I don't know if that's right either.
I don't know Clay real well.
Yeah, it's not Clay.
Sigmund was in it,
Arlen Sigmund, yeah.
was in, put it down,
Yeah.
call Harlan if I have any more questions.
This is this nice sign, and they like to see it at the cemetery, you know, going into the cemetery. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the
We
sign.
had a question if that was in fact a county road that goes to the
It
cemetery.
shows it on the
It
back.
shows it on our,
Look at it, sorry. We're in section 27.
Right
Where's
at the end of
Where's the
half-
cemetery at?
Right
At the end of the road.
half mile.
The road comes down here third and go west?
Yep.
It's right at the end of
and he said that we had been maintaining it. I mean, and they had done a good job of maintaining it. That's a little different from, yeah, let's see that here somewhere.
there. I'll check with Mike and see, I mean, there might be a, yeah, I don't know. Unless there's a short piece of road that comes off of that road, that actually goes to the cemetery.
He kind of indicated that it was right on, at the end of the road, didn't he?
Item 4 there, discuss local budget amendment options. I had talked to Jim back middle of May, that looked like we might be going over on the roads and transportation. On the report that I normally look at, it totals everything together for secondary roads, and total-wise, we weren't gonna be over, but, I had forgotten that roads and transportation was a separate line item in Jim's budget, and that, needs to be watched separately. As of 1st of May, we had about $106,000. Expenditures were $106,000 below budget. And that's about what payroll will run for May. And so basically, we're gonna be over, whatever our claims are for, excuse me. The end of May, we were 106,000 under budget yet, but payroll for June will take about that amount of money. So what will be over on expenditures will be all our claims for June. I think the first claim period, Jan said, or Kim.
So you're gonna be over anyway? This is just, if we hold this, I mean, if you're gonna exceed it anyway, it doesn't matter a great deal whether it's $5,000 or $105,000, we're still gonna get the same write-up.
Right. And when I talked to Dick Moore the other day, you know, because basically we're under in construction by 200 and some thousand. And so my total secondary roads budget won't be over, but I'll be over on that roads and transportation line. And Dick told me that if we don't do anything, yeah, we'll get a nasty note in the audit that says that, you know, we overspent that line item. He said the May 31st date that amendments were supposed to be done by was to give people a 30-day notice, 30 days to appeal. He said you can still go ahead and do an amendment, but at this point, you wouldn't be able to do an amendment before the 28th of June. And when's that last payroll check actually go out? It's paid the 28th, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the payroll will be done before then, I mean, so that they can make it available on the 28th. They'll probably do payroll on the 23rd, 22nd or 23rd, somewhere there.
But is the check actually in the 28th?
Yes.
I mean, it would, even if you did an amendment, you couldn't do it to the 28th, and then we still might be overspent before the amendment was done anyhow, and then there'd be no appeal period, so I didn't know. I talked to Jim a little bit about it, didn't know what you guys, you know, whether you had a preference on what we did, just not do anything and get the note.
Back to what I said the first time, if you withhold this $99,000 for your insurance, are you gonna be over anyway?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going through a lot of extra work to get written up regardless of.
You're gonna get written up one way or the other, yeah.
I go ahead and pay the insurance, they just really.
Well, and that was just part of it, insurance is just part of it, because we'll probably be, like I said, the payroll in June will take up most of what, by the time the payroll gets paid in June, we'll be right at budget.
I gave you that breakdown, didn't I, for the insurance?
Yes. But we got $29,000 in claims this first claim period, and then we'll have, I'm sure I guess I haven't put a good pencil to it yet, but we'll have a fuel bill that'll be 30-some thousand probably, and we'll have second claims, or the last two claims will probably end up being, and then if we pay that insurance bill to Jim, you know, without.
General supplemental, not to you.
Do you want to clear that up?
Yeah. Get that.
You know, we'll probably end up, if we pay that also, I'm trying to hold some bills and not pay them till July, but we'll probably still probably be close to 100,000 over before this, so, with the two of them. And basically it all goes back to that motor grader that we bought, and I should have adjusted the budget a bit.
I mean, just so it doesn't, if we're gonna have the write-up and the audit anyway, I think you just all go and pay things that are due, and that doesn't change anybody else's situation. You just pay them, and we know that we'll get the.
I mean, cash balance, we've got, cash balance to pay, and it's just,
So, what do you guys think? I didn't.
I see that.
You're gonna get written up. You're gonna get written up.
It's,
Okay,
Hey, Ron, have you heard from Procol, Calhoun, our Sac County
Uh,
Pest Control?
They started in Calhoun last, I think it was either Thursday or Friday. They're supposed to get done in Pocahontas. Which night was it supposed to rain? Wasn't that Wednesday night? They thought at one time they were gonna get a bunch of rain and they were gonna push them back a half a day or a day to get started. We're getting finished in Pocahontas and then it'll be delayed starting in Calhoun, but I think they started last Friday.
So they're not gonna be here this week.
I think Mike's getting them bladed, so I think they've had contact, so.
Okay. I've had an inquiry, there's quite a few customers. Did Chief and Teller get out of that business still?
Yeah, he got out and, a firm out of, I think they're out of Adel or down by Des Moines someplace, Heffron,
Yeah.
I think somehow.
They do anything in Sac?
They did, I think up in Eden, they had 4 or 5 customers up there that, I think one guy up there had contacted them and said, we'd like to have you come do these for his. And Efron told him, well, we won't come up there just for yours, but if you get several other people together, we'll come and do it. So,
Yesterday, I was up and down N14 a couple times, and there's nasty holes. It's bad.
Underneath the,
Yeah, I mean,
that's what people do.
it's just about shakes your
yeah,
undercarriage.
they try to keep gravel in them under,
It's not working.
but there's some other, I thought Ronnie told me too, there's some other spots that were starting to rock and.
There's other spots in the pavement, but the very worst is by the overpass. It's bad.
I will mention that to the DOT.
Because the other 2 roads are closed. So the ones that's open is really bad.
Well, they've broken it up, they basically broke it up, taking cranes across there, between the 2 bridges, and there's a spot down, basically where the 2 ramps are, that they've got all broken up.
Can we put pressure on it to put some blacktop in it?
Well, they will do that, but they're waiting to get done crossing it, so they do it. But yeah, they know they've got to replace it, but.
Well, I meant just temporary.
They, if they did a good job of keeping the rock, leveled off, it wouldn't be too bad.
It's just got your normal holes, and I think they probably do try and throw some stuff back in it, and then 15 minutes it's out again. But it's just shakes you. You've been across there now.
They put down 6 inches of lime rock, and that'll stay in place. And they go to scoop it out.
Yeah, I think they put some limestone in there, I'm not sure how. I'm not sure whether they dug the whole thing out or whether it's concrete under part of it. But I'll mention it to DOT. We've got a meeting with them tomorrow, and I'll tell them they need to stay up to kind of keep that leveled off. But we'll be putting a patching plan together. Probably try to have.
Will that happen yet this summer?
Patching?
Yeah, those.
Ours? Yeah. We'll let it, probably just middle of July, I think, if Chris gets the, finish getting the
So
plans together.
with us forcing detour on there at different times, will we get any help with that?
No, from the DOT, no.
Because they're.
I actually took it off one county road and put it on
I
another
was
county road.
up there, up and down there a couple times yesterday, and there's a line of truck. I mean, a lot of trucks are using that now because the others been closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both M28 and M50.
Have you had any complaints about junk in the ditches? I got another complaint from South of Odebo from Roger Neville. I just got that in the last couple of days. The computer and everything brought in the ditch somewhere down South of Odebo. I didn't quite understand where. And then over at either in the area of Ira or Hope. I guess there's a television and a couch and some other stuff that's been dumped out.
Neville was by where he lives.
Well, he evidently took the dirt road or the back road going out to his, where his farms he lives in town now.
Okay.
And,
So
there's
it's out on
some
the dirt
people
road
that
then?
couldn't tell you.
Okay.
But he did call the sheriff's department and told them, and they thought they'd come out and check and maybe see if they can find out if there's any identification and stuff. But, he says it's still laying there.
I don't know whether Mike gets much help from the sheriff's office on them or not. It seems like, I know in Calhoun, they don't seem to, they got too many other things to worry about. They don't seem to mess with it. What was the other location though?
Over in the area of Ira, down Oxidale. Complaining about that. He said there's a TV and a couch somewhere down. And I went down to Ira, off of 175 down to the Wall Lake Blacktop. I didn't see anything down there past Oxidale. Maybe it's further south to the county lines. But evidently people are starting to dump out in the counties now with residents paying their fee to dispose of it.
And I think Mike picked those up. You know,
Supervisor's office for next
when he
meeting.
gave it a chance. Last item there, got quotes for gravel hauling. Mike had requested that they
Okay,
be.
the guy that you need to talk to is sitting right here. I'll pass the phone. That's DNR talking about financial assurance stuff for the landfill.
Hi, this is Dean Stock.
Mike had requested that these bids be in his office by 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And
Yeah.
JW brought theirs into the office about 1:45, and Justice was laying on his desk when Mike got back before 3:30, so they both are in. I'll go ahead, or you guys want to look?
Go ahead.
And we will check their math to make sure that their rate per ton mile. Oh, we haven't got the total on here.
You guys must have sent the same thing out. Norm showed me his the other day.
Okay, you don't know the full
Opened
one.
up.
Okay, we'll get that done.
He whited out the purchase truck.
As far as the tonnages,
It must
you know, fuel and
Is it-
tear ups.
is it down there?
Ivan Dressler, Tom Graff, and put that together. Maybe I'll have Tom call you.
Yeah, I'll talk to Kim about that, 'cause that looks like it must have.
He asked me if he should white it out or black it out, and I said, yeah. He talked to me in the phone.
Yeah, well, let's see, what number
It
do
evidently was set the same,
you want to be contacted?
Yeah, she changed it up here.
I guess they can.
but it didn't get changed down below.
Changed down here. And then when it printed it, it somehow didn't print all that line and cut off 3/4 of that line there too.
No, I'm not sure.
The one thing Mike didn't have on here was that they haven't totaled their, what the total bid would be.
Neither one did.
Was it broken down by township? or-
It's broken down by township, 5,000 ton, basically in each town of the 8 townships. So we'll have to multiply these out to get the,
Okay, well, I'll contact the engineering firm on the cost estimates and then I'll look at getting bids. to, okay, why don't you do that there, and, I'll go to the auditor's office, and you want, the entire county, but, audit report, and you just got, page 37, okay.
We'll check their math. We'll check this total. Yeah. I mean,
Yes, sir, yeah.
you would call Mark off, that would told us to write it out and reprint it. We would have reprinted before it got,
Why nobody should need to do that.
yeah, it's. Got sent out and we just did it close to it,
Yeah. Okay,
Looks like
See what I
Workers
can
is
find.
cheapest on every single one.
okay.
That's cheaper.
Rick, you want to?
This is cheaper here. Oh, we need it.
No, it isn't. 33, 289, 351.
You'll do the math on them and
Yeah, yeah.
Workers is cheapest
Norm
on
Just
every one.
Trucking and Worcester.
But on the unit prices that they got quoted, they got unit prices per ton, but none of them, and Mike should have had another column over here where he multiplied the tonnage times the price and then the total price, so without multiplying them out, there's, you don't know what the totals are, but on each unit price, it looks like Worcester is cheaper
On every township.
on every township, yeah. So it appears that Worcester is low, but what's over? And Mike has, the mileage that he's used in the calculation. The trucks are supposed to leave the pit down there and go south to D46 and then east or west. And then even when they get over well, going west like the Boyer Valley Township, they'll actually go out on 20 and then they'll drop south to D37, go across and then do the south part of township that way, and then the other way they'll go up to early to D27 and go west there, so. That's the route that they're supposed to follow on their loaded route, so. That, I guess, is all I've got for today.
Have anything to- have
Anything
anything
further?
else?
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All ayes, motion carried. We are adjourned.